cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen.
What up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is For Women Wednesday. I'm your host, Freddie G, joined by my co-host, K Money, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome to another Women Wednesday. Okay, today's episode was inspired by a Netflix series, executive produced by Michelle Obama. The show is called The Later Daters. It's a show about older people looking for their ideal mate. The show is about 6 people, all over the age of 55. 4 of them women and 2 are men. So you had a niece. She's a 62-year-old black woman. She looks good for her age, and she had a nice body. Her occupation is in marketing. You had Suzanne, and she's 63 years old, white woman. She looks every bit of 63 years old, and her occupation is an optometrist. You had Nate. He's a 56-year-old black man. Now, he looks decent for his age, and his former occupation, he was a paratrooper. He's a disabled vet, and he got bad knees and a bad back, and he walked with a slight hitch, in his walk, but it's not really that noticeable. Then you had Pam. She's 70 years old. She's a white woman, and she looks every bit of 70 years old, and she's a former flight attendant. You had Lori. She's 57 years old. She's a black woman, and she looks her age, but she could pass for about 60 if you give or take. And she's a behavior coach and a media correspondent. And she really likes the party scenes. And finally, you had Greg. Greg is 61 years old. He's a white guy. And he looks every bit of 61 years old. Or he could pass for being even older. And he's a construction business owner. He owns his own construction company. Now, I finished watching the first season this past weekend. And overall, I think the show was pretty good, right? However, I came to the conclusion after watching the show that it may be too late for them to find their ideal mate. Now, before I continue, I want to say again, today's episode was inspired by the show. However, today's episode is not about the show itself. The show just got me to thinking about single people over the age of 50. So, if you are a faithful listener of the podcast, y'all know that we are 4 men all over the age of 50. Now, if God keeps allowing us to wake up each day, eventually we'll reach the age of the people on that particular show. So with that being said, fellas, I'm going to ask y'all some questions, and I want your honest opinion. So, do y'all believe that people over 50 years and older can find their ideal mate and live happily ever after? Now, before y'all, get ready to answer this question, what I mean by happily ever after, do you think that people 50 years and older can live happily ever after, find their ideal mate and live happily ever after, meaning get married and live happily ever after?
Yeah, I think there's some people that can. Maybe not the masses of them, but I think there are some that can. That it's going to take the two, I guess, to, they're going to have to agree on a lot at that point, because at that age, you are kind of already set in who you are. and there's no change in a lot of stuff. And we know that relationships and marriages takes change. So if the two are able to say, yeah, I can, set aside this, or I can accept that, or I can accept, I think they can.
I agree with you, Slash. I definitely think that people over at that age can find love and happiness, and possibly get married and live, a decent lifestyle, happy. Like Slash said, both of them are going to be set in their ways. Mm-hmm. So they already know whether or not they're going to be able to accept or tolerate this, that, and the other. Right. So they both have to mutually agree and come to that agreement whether or not this is what's going to happen. And that's where I think the difference is. Because of their age, they can make up their minds a lot quicker instead of, twiddling their thumbs if they were younger or playing the field. Because it's draining and tiring to be out there dating.
Mm-hmm. Now, since they are an older couple, I am on the fence on this one. I'm both yes and no. So I'm gonna explain my yes. Yes, if they are older couples that are both financially sound, they don't need each other for nothing, right? And they meet. When you're that old, it's about companionship. Probably not about sex. Probably still is, but for the most part, as you get older, it's about companionship. Man, waking up to somebody. If two people have that, money is not an issue between the both of them, I think, yes, love can be found, because they're probably they're not looking at finances. They're looking at companionship. Can I be with this person for the rest of my life? Yes. But take that same situation and just say the male is well off. He's good. His retirement is good. But then he meets a woman, not so much. She got, jumping job to job, doesn't really, have a, financial goals or whatever. But she's at the point where when you get up in age, you can't run around and find those dudes like you was when you were 21. You 61 now. You can't. When you were 21, you had the pick of the litter. But if your thought process at 61 is still the same at 21, and then you're trying to get with somebody that got it together, whether it's a man or female, to me it'll be fake love, and it'll be just positioning.
Let me fake love.
Yeah, it'll be like, I'm 61 now. I can't find nobody else. Let me just get with this dude because he's stable, and I'm gonna pretend that I love him and be with him. I think it'll be one of those situations. Whether it's the guy or the girl, a guy would do the same thing. He would get with a girl that's well off, and just because she's weak and she needs attention and needs to be, he will prey on that and pretend to be with her, and really. He knows he's 61 now. He ain't got nowhere else to go. Ain't nobody gonna hire him. She's stable, so it'll be fake love. So that's why I say I'm on the fence. It could go either way. It could be true love or fake love. At that age, it's a catch-22, man.
Okay, so actually, you and Slash kind of both touched on something that I was going to talk about a little bit later in the show, which is good because y'all kind of. Your car wheels are turning, especially yours. Believe it or not, it's a hamster probably riding on a little wheel.
In my head, that's always a hamster in my head
with a blindfold.
So here's another question for y'all: do y'all believe that some people over the age of 50 are truly happy being single?
No. Nobody.
I don't know. I think it may be some that are. Some people are content with that, but it could be due to the reason why they're single. They could have been in a marriage and now they're widowed.
Facts.
So, of course, those people I think would settle for not marrying again or being in another relationship, at least for a while, Right. So I think this goes either way.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a good one. Yeah, I thought about that. Some people that just they lose a husband or wife, they just don't want to marry nobody else. That's who their mate. They ain't looking for nobody else. So
okay,
yeah, that's a good one.
So before I move on to my next question, I have two rhetorical questions for our listeners. The rhetorical questions I have is for single people over the age of 50 that are truly happy being single. My first question is, if you drop dead right now, who will be responsible for your body?
Your children?
Well, that was a rhetorical question for the listeners. But I'm glad you said that, Slash. So, because that got something to do with my second question. So I'm going to say the first question again. If you drop dead right now, if you're single and you're truly happy being single, if you drop dead right now, who's responsible for your body? Now, my second question was, if you have children, are they responsible enough to take care of your funeral arrangements and your body? If you have children. So, Slash, you said, although it was a rhetorical question for the listeners, you said your children. Well, there are some single people who would swear up and down that they're happy being single. Mm-hmm. But they don't have any children.
Yep.
They don't have any children.
They have no children. So now what?
Now,
Well, it's like you say, K-Money, you just said it's going to either be the state or a family member, the next closest family member.
Yeah.
Or the atmosphere just eating you up. Let me stop.
okay, so now let me share something personal about me, right? Mm-hmm. So my mother's side of the family that I grew up on, everybody's deceased. So all I have left is one uncle, one aunt, and one first cousin on the side of the family that I grew up on. Man. Now, for those who know me, y'all know me. Mm-hmm. My aunt, she never had children. My first cousin is by another aunt of mine who died in the 80s. So, again, all I have is one uncle, one aunt, and one first cousin. Mm-hmm. That's it for my mother's side of the family. And had I not had children, and had I not had a son, my last name would have died off. Mm. Hopefully he can carry it on. Now, with that being said, I take care of my aunt because she never married and she never had kids. I don't think that when she was 21 years old, and I'm just grabbing that number off the air, I don't think when she was 21 years old, she thought about who's going to take care of her body. Mm-hmm. When she got old. Now, I take care of my aunt. She doesn't live with me, but when I say take care of her, I do all of the things that I need to do for her to keep her because she's elderly, to keep her from having to do anything. I take care of everything, right? For the most part. But I don't think when she was 21 years old, she thought about, well, when I get old, who's going to take care of my body? She never married, mm-hmm. and she never had any kids.
Right. A lot of women don't think, and this is the honest truth. A lot of women think now. They don't think about the future. That's why right now dating is so hard, because you'll meet a girl that's trying to get the bag, or I need my hair and nails done, but
right now.
Yeah, right now.
She ain't trying to help you get to the bag.
Yeah, we trying to get a house, get us a family established. We're thinking for the future, but they trying to. Well, I need that Coach bag. It's $3,000, so I need that right now.
But see, that's why so many of them single still.
Yeah, so then when you get up in age, now you're trying to get it together. It's too late.
It's too late.
So this next question, it may sound redundant, mm-hmm. but it's all along the lines of single people over 50 that say that they're truly happy, mm-hmm. right? So with that being said, do y'all believe that there's somebody for everybody?
Yes.
No.
I believe that.
Yes, I do.
I do not.
I think it's just a matter of finding that person.
I do not. I'm going to tell you why. We outnumber, if you matched everybody up, man and woman on this earth, there still will be 1 million women single. So there's not somebody for everybody.
Well, that's only because you're only speaking that because of the jail population.
No, not the jail population. I'm talking about men out. Women outnumber us. Period. The whole earth. Women outnumber us by a large margin. If you match every man up in the world, there will still be a million women left single.
But it's a lot of women together now too.
So
I get okay. If you gonna go that way, if you going that way, then
you got women together.
But
I was actually thinking this.
But
I was gonna hit him with that.
Just say a million left. Do you think that all that million gonna be gay and like woman? It's gonna be 200,000. Be like, man, I want a man.
Well, you know that fact that number has to be high though.
Do what now?
That number of
that's
on women being.
That's why I say 200,000. The other 800, I made the other 800,000 gay, and I made the other 200,000 straight. I made a low number for the straight women. So just say 200,000 are straight. The other 800,000 like women. Okay, you still got 200,000 that really want a man, but cannot find one because all the other men are matched up. So it's not somebody for everybody. When people say that, no, it's not. Okay. It's not.
You make a good argument. Yeah. You make a good argument. So with that being said, y'all kind of touched on this a little earlier, but I want to ask the question. Do y'all believe that the older you get, the harder it is to find a mate? And why?
No. Okay, so the older you get, this doesn't matter, young or old, to find a real one. I'm going to be honest. My life has been great as I've gotten older because I've gotten the young, the middle-aged, and the older. And go ahead.
Okay, no. Remember, I asked earlier about happily ever after.
Okay, yes.
And later dater. So we're talking about over the age of 50. Now, if you're single and you're over the age of 50,
I'm single.
You can't go get no young ones. The question.
Oh, it's harder. Because most women are usually they're set in their ways. Ain't no changing them.
I think both parties are going to be set in their ways at that age.
Well, see, I'm different. I can adjust because I know one thing about me, I know I haven't dated in a long time. So I know that, okay, I got to make some adjustments, right? I got to make some adjustments because I know I've been out of the market for a minute. However, compromising is the key. That's the thing. Both parties got to be able to compromise. If they're able to do that, then it could work.
Okay.
But for the most part, it doesn't.
So I want you to continue, but you're about to go into something in regards to the next question I had. So I'm going to go ahead and ask this question, and I'm going to let you to continue because you're actually headed in that direction already.
Okay.
So what are the pros and cons to finding a mate in the later stages of your life? So if you can give me some pros and you can give me some cons.
The cons would be the compromising. That's the part. Trying to get somebody to compromise and be on your page. When we at this age, women and men have been doing the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. It is harder for a woman to change her ways or make adjustments than the man. I will say that. It's harder for the woman, to me, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. This is opinionated, okay? It's harder because I don't mind making adjustments. Some things I will not compromise on, but for the most part, I'm willing to compromise because I've been out of a relationship.
I think it's. Well, you want me to list the pros or cons, or the first question or both?
Give me. Well, I stopped him in the middle of one of when he was elaborating.
I want to give you a pro though.
Okay, that's fine. But I came on there. I stopped him because he was about to go into the next question I had that I was going to ask.
Okay.
So I just went ahead and asked the question to if he can think of some pros and cons to finding a mate in a later stage in our life or whatever.
No, I do agree, and we've been saying it throughout the show how, at that age we're set in our ways. So I kind of feel that that's what makes it hard. But at the same time, I think we also may possess the patience to possibly deal with something that we may not have dealt with, 20 or 30 years prior.
Right.
So that part can make it easy because you're willing to settle for something just, to get that companionship like Comedian 96 said. Because at that age, I think I totally agree that, you're more so looking for that companion to spend the rest of your life with. The physical part of your relationship probably has dwindled down. But, if you guys are able to communicate and if you're able to compromise, then you're winning at that age.
So both you agree with Comedian 96 and said companionship.
I do agree with that.
So that would be considered a pro.
Yes.
Meaning that in your later life, that hey, a pro in finding someone, an older person in your later life, the pro to that would be companionship.
Correct.
Right.
So, Comedian 96, you said you wanted to give a pro. Remind me of what your con was.
The con was compromising. Remember, trying to compromise with an older
So
individual.
the con for an older individual is compromising.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because they're set in their ways. They pretty much set in their ways.
Okay.
I will. Can I add something to you?
Sure. Would this be a pro or a con that you're adding?
This is going to be a con because I hate to throw darts, but this is a female dart because one thing about a man, if we start dating a woman and it's serious, we're going to kind of let those other homegirls slide, right? We're going to, hey, can't talk to you like that. I got a gal now. She ain't feeling that, right? Mm-hmm. Look at a woman that's been single for a very, very long period of time. How many male friends does she have? And these the same male friends that came over, fixed her roof, changed the tire, little borrow $50 and didn't have to pay it back. And now I come into the picture. She got 3-4 male friends that do different things for her because she's older, single, ain't never had a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Now I come into the picture. Do you expect her to say, oh, that man used to change my tire, that man gave me money, and this man used to fix my house? I gotta let all 3 of these men go for this one man.
Well. So
do you think they never let them go? That's the thing. They will never let their men friends go. That's the big issue because I think the longevity of them being friends is she gonna let you walk in at age 61 and say, let them dudes go. You've been knowing them 40 years, but you need to let them go because we together now. That's where the problem lies.
Do you agree with that, K-Man?
I agree if they would have to be let go if there was any history, between them. But if it's just platonic work and shit like that, I don't have a problem with it, especially if I'm not, mechanically inclined like that. They're not gonna be around if I'm not around.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't bother me.
Shit.
You know why?
I'll find a mechanic.
I'll
find a roofer.
It wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because if she not sleeping with the dude,
they'll tell you anything.
But at the same token, if she choose to fuck with you and sleep with you, why she not sleeping with them?
You might be just a person on her agenda.
Nah, I don't think so, bro.
I need you to be my main man, but this man still gonna he gonna fix my roof, and I'm gonna give him some when you go out of town and go to work. Still,
I don't think.
Okay, okay, brother.
I don't put nothing past him.
Right.
There you go. Thank you.
I don't put nothing past him, but at the same time, I don't want to look at it in a negative standpoint like that because that's another con of you even being with somebody. If your mentality is like that, it's gonna be tough for you.
I'm gonna give you a good example. Was dating somebody, right? They had a house overseas. Okay. They had a contractor overseas, black and black. She contacted the contractor. At first it was business, but then all of a sudden it was personal. You was telling personal. Now you're meeting the contractor on trips. Y'all meeting up on trips, but swear up and down, I ain't doing nothing. He's just the contractor. Ain't nothing. We just met up. You get what I'm saying? Would you believe her if she took a flight from H-Town, flew to Florida, he flew from overseas to Florida, and they meet together in there, and they was there for a week, and they ain't touching each other, but it's just business?
Nah, I don't believe that wouldn't be a situation where it's sexually involved.
That's what I'm
saying. It
saying.
probably would. But what I'm saying is, if you trusted this woman enough at this age, 60,
I don't trust. No.
Well, that's
none of them.
So that explains this whole show.
Yeah.
So that would be a con, then lack of trust at that age.
I mean, I just me personally, I just wouldn't. I would love her.
Yeah.
I just would. Even I tell her, I don't trust. I just don't.
So
trust.
that's one of the things you wouldn't change.
The trust.
No, your mindset to be with somebody.
Oh no.
You're not gonna change
You
how
would
you
have
feel.
to really show me.
Because
you would have to really show me that I can trust you.
But
I'm not
you
saying
realize
I can't trust. I'm just
you
saying,
realize that's a part of the word we trying to the C word, not the con, but
the compromising.
The compromising. That's
Yeah.
a part of it.
Listen, you got to earn my trust. I'm sorry. At first, I used to be the type, I'll come in, I'll give you 100%
the
trust,
benefit of the
and then
doubt.
you got to hang yourself. That was my thought process.
Well, most of them will.
So check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. So let me tell you what I gathered out of this.
Yeah.
So a pro is companionship. Right? That's what I gathered out of what y'all was saying.
Correct.
A pro is companionship. A con is that they're stuck in their ways.
Yes.
Now, where I hear y'all kind of differ a little, and y'all there's some debate going on. Comedian 96, you're looking at trust as a con because you're saying that you don't trust.
Yeah. It'll be
So
a trust.
now what that tells me is that wouldn't have anything to do with being older or later dater. That would be even if you're young. If they were young,
Yeah, it
there
doesn't
would still
matter.
be some trust.
Yeah.
We're looking for I'm looking for pros and cons as a later dater.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Think about it. If they're a later dater and they single, how many male friends have they accumulated?
Okay,
That's possibly.
I got you. So the trust issue is not only a young con,
It's a whole content.
it's an old con for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Because at that age, you telling her to get rid of this friend that she been knowing.
got
You could
you.
get rid of a 5-year friend, but
You
a
made-
40-year friend.
you made the point.
You see what I'm saying?
So here's something that y'all didn't say. Well, first of all, is there any other pros other than companionship? Because we say we're talking about later daters. What's a pro when it comes to dating somebody over 50? A later dater.
It could be a lot of different stuff.
Give me one.
It could be financial.
Well, both of y'all financially well off.
Okay, so that wouldn't be a pro.
What's
It's a pro the fact that y'all are, but
We can go to doctor visits together.
you know what? It's almost nothing else. I mean, it's
Okay.
only
Yeah,
companionship
yeah,
at that point.
companionship.
Now, I said something earlier. I asked a rhetorical question to the audience earlier. So I would think that a pro would be he or she will be responsible for my body.
Yeah, and now you got to go in and change the names on your paperwork.
Meaning, well, we're talking about happily ever after. If I found my happily ever after, that means I've gotten married. Now, I done got married at the age of 60. Well, I die. Somebody's responsible for my body now. Somebody can actually make sure, but given the benefit of the doubt, that I married somebody good. Somebody can take care of me and put me in the ground or cremate me, whatever I choose to do, but really take care of business when it comes to me. That's a pro.
I agree.
Now, here's a con. Now, Comedian 96, you looked at it from a different angle when you said sex, giving this guy over here sex,
Yeah.
or whatever. Well, I think the con in later dating is sex declining
Declining. Yep.
on both parts, male and female. I think that's a con. So it's like, okay, well, if I'm marrying you, I'm getting with you at an older age. I ain't doing it for your sex. I ain't doing it because your body looks good.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's a con only if you had a high sex drive.
If you got a high
normal
sex-
sex drive, but if your sex
Right.
drive really didn't factor in, while you were living, you could care less.
Well, if you are an older man with a high sex drive, you would probably have to be compatible with an older woman with a high sex drive. But you have to vet to even get to that point to know that. So that means that an older man with a high sex drive will be looking at a younger woman. And that doesn't fit the show.
Facts.
Okay, so here's a con. Limited physical ability.
Oh yeah, that was the only obvious. That's why I didn't state that. That's why I said we can go to the doctor together.
Okay, and here's another con that I'm going to give a little breakdown to. You're closer to death. That's why you need somebody to take care of your body and somebody that's going to look after you because you're closer to death. So with that being said, what I want to do is I want to give some numbers per the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, right? Life expectancy on an average in the U.S., both genders combined, the average is 77.5 years. So if you're a later dater and you found somebody at the age of 60, and the average life expectancy when you're combining both genders as a whole is 77.5 years, that means you roughly got 17.5 years left, 17 years left to live happily ever after.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that have declined. So the things that used to interest you when you were younger no longer interest you when you're older. Now, let's break it down by gender. I said both combined was 77.5, but males is 74.8. So we're going to round that up to 75. So that means that if you're 60, you only got 15 years left to find that somebody before you croak. Right? Now, if you're a female and you're 60, the age span is 80.2, which means that ladies, if you're 60 years old and you're listening to this show and you're single and you're looking for that man, you roughly got 20 years left. That's pretty good to live happily ever after. Now, what I also want to do is give a breakdown in regards to the United States average for life expectancy per state. I'm not going to do every state, all 50 states. I'm just going to do Texas because we're here in Texas. You got a question, K-Mon?
No, I'm listening.
So I'm going to do Texas. Out of all 50 states, Texas is ranked 30th when it comes to life expectancy. And on an average of 87.5. So if you're 60 and you looking for that man or that woman, on an average, both genders, we're talking, you roughly got 18 years. Now let's break it down to ethnicity. White people, 78 years old. So if you're 60, you got 18 years. I'm going to skip over African American for right now. Asians, if you're listening and you're 60 years old and you're looking to find that later dater,
112. You got a whole
88.1. If you are Latino, 80.7. Now I want y'all to take a guess for African Americans. If you're 60 years old and the life expectancy of an African American,
76.
71.2.
Yeah, about 72. That's all you get.
So-
About 72 years.
so Slash, you say 72.
71.2.
Comedian 96, you say 71.2. Since your point 2 is not over 5, I'm going to drop you down to 71.
Okay, cool.
76.
K-Money, you say 76. So if y'all are 60 and
Listen.
you're African American
The-
and you...
The first number that popped in my head was 67. I just want to say that.
Okay.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
If you are an African American and you're 60 years old and you're single and you're looking for that later dater, you're looking for that man that's around or about your age, or if you are a man that's looking for that woman that's around or about your age and you're 60, well, the life expectancy is 74.4. So you got 14 years.
Roughly 10, because you better do
To
it
li-
before
Yeah, to live
71.
happily. Yeah,
You still got a date for
to
a year.
live happily ever after.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, Slash. So, man, before I close, man, do y'all got anything to add?
Good luck.
I guess that's it.
Okay, so, man, I'm going to bring it to a close here. So, if you are a believer, you know that God created Adam and decided that it was not good for him to be alone. So, he created Eve to be his companion and helpmate. With that being said, if you are a female believer who is single and looking for a man, ask God, why don't I have my Adam? If you are a male believer who's single and looking for a woman, ask God, why don't I have my Eve? I promise he will answer. You just have to be still enough to hear his response. In my opinion, we're not meant to be alone. This concludes another dope episode. Tune in tomorrow for Think Thursday. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all my YouTubers, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, the only way we grow is if you let them know.